For joining us on Urban Broadcast Media today. Just so that you know, if you want to join in on the conversation, be sure to call 312-754-4333. In the studio today, I have with me beautiful, beautiful woman, Dr. Phyllis West, PhD. How are you today, Doc?
Great. How are you?
Good, good. So today is Talk to the Doc, and we're going to be talking to her about how to optimize our health. First of all, where the issues lie with us, and then how we can fix them. So we're going to get into that momentarily. But first, as you know, is the newsroom. Did you know that Chicago high school students vying for a chance to win up to $1 million in scholarship? So hundreds of Chicago high school seniors will be given the opportunity to apply for nearly $1 million in scholarships on Thursday. Did you hear me? Thursday, November the 2nd, at the University of Illinois Chicago Forum during the UNCF Fund EmPower. Did you hear that word? EmPower Me Tour. That is the name of their event while you are listening to EmPower Hour. So they are calling it EMT, EmPower Me Tour, is a free traveling college and career readiness road show presented in partnership with Target. So it is offering its scholarship to our nation's top HBCUs. Now, did you go to HBCU, Dr. Phyllis?
Absolutely.
Yes, you did. And which one did you go to?
Payne College, Augusta, Georgia.
All right, all right. So we got Payne College from Augusta, Georgia in the house. We've got Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia in the house. So yes, of course, we are all about the groups that are coming out and supporting HBCUs. So thank you, Chicago high school students in combination with Target with UNCF. So we know that for sure. All right, so UNCF, as you know, is the biggest. Students of color are getting awarded over $100 million annually. If you know of a student, let me get to some details. It's scheduled for Thursday, November the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. at the University of Illinois Chicago Forum, located at 725 West Roosevelt Road, and again, it is free for all students and parents. And the next one, after the Chicago stop, is in Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you've got some people in Cincinnati, they are the 15th through the 16th, and Dallas, Texas, after that, December 4th through the 5th. All right, so if you want some more information, it's empowermetour.org, or stay connected at UNCF on social media. I think that's an awesome idea, right? Or a great opportunity for sure for our young high school students. Now, I think you might have heard this with Doc Finney just a little while ago if you were listening, but if not, then I want you to know that Amazon Chicago is vying for one of the spots with having Amazon come with 50,000 paying jobs. Did you hear me? 50,000 paying jobs. So we are of course amongst 238 cities trying to, in North America, trying to get this opportunity. So, you know, I hope we are going to plan to do some really phenomenal things to try to do that. There's only a few places that didn't want it. Can you guess where? Arkansas was one of them.
Oh,
yeah, they didn't want it because they have Walmart, right? So they didn't want it. But Hurricane Puerto Rico did submit a bid. So, you know, that's interesting. But they saying that based on research, Atlanta is emerging as the potential front runner. So followed by Boston, Austin, and Toronto. But we've got to do something about that. We've got to get Chicago up and running in that. We got to get us #1 in that spot, because that would be a great opportunity for the individuals in the Chicagoland area. I think they'll probably come from Wisconsin, Indiana. Everybody will come if they were able to get one of those 50,000 jobs that having the Amazon headquarters moved here would do. Now, there's an idea of the day. In an uncertain and changing world, there is still a competitive advantage to being human. I know Doc would agree to that, right? There's a lot of technology, but there is definitely an advantage to having some interaction with people.
Yes.
Right? Because lots of it. I'm sure for our health, you're going to talk about something like that too, right? That we should want to be in touch with individuals. So it says often students believe that once they cross the graduation stage, they are done. that they have reached the finish line. And in today's world, this is impossible endpoint. They cannot stand still. They must have the confidence and persistence to assess their skills, understand their gaps, and seek to help in closing them, meaning you always are going to be in school, right? Or you're going to always need to be trying to learn. And of course, you know, Doc teaches at Governor State University, so I know she is a proponent of continued education. So we're going to talk back to her right after we listen to a little bit of music and get into details about how to optimize our health. You're listening to Urban Broadcast Media with your host, Bertina Power. Okay, yeah, so we can talk about how my stuff is not set up. Hey,
You're gonna be looking over here.
yeah, we're looking at everywhere. Yeah, we're looking everywhere. She moved it from, you know, it being in one location where we can
So
easily
when I
look
answer
up.
the question,
Come a
I need
little
to go
closer
here
to me.
now?
Yeah, just come closer.
Apparatus.
Yeah,
in her
just
shot.
come closer.
Well, my
Hey, everybody. I know.
Not.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm trying to get,
Now,
yes.
how do I talk into this thing?
Right, so now I turn mine to the side like this, but I'm, you know, I'm talking to it, but they want you to just make sure you're close enough to,
Am I close enough?
yeah, you're close enough and talk, you know, so just
Okay.
talk. I know you have your nice, sweet, light voice, but I need us to talk, right, because this is the radio.
Give me Paul Robeson.
Yes, give me attention, teacher. You got
A
teacher.
soft, but no,
You're
you
a
still have to
teacher.
tell me to speak up. I have a soft
Yes,
voice.
yeah, you do have a soft voice. That's what I'm saying. You have a soft voice, but I need it to go a little bit louder.
I know.
And so do the ones that are listening to us on the radio. Hey, over there, YouTube, right? So YouTube is over there. We're right here with EmPower Hour, and there we go. Facebook. Hey, everybody, let's see what they're saying over here.
This is really on?
Yeah, this is on. So wave everybody. We're waving everybody. We're waving over there. We are on. We are live.
Okay.
And so they're joining, and then Charlene is saying this is gonna be an awesome topic. My cousin Gina is present, as she has been since day one. I absolutely love you, Gina. Thank you so much for your support. And then Sherry Lynn says, think HBCU. I know that's right.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, and Michelle Thibodeau said, yes, yes, yes. So they are on, and they are watching, and they are listening. So, hey, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off because I did not prepared today. I can't hear my music, so I have to keep watching over here to see what's going on. Yes, yes, yes. And our health is definitely important, and it's important to everybody. And we're gonna talk about some of her.
If you can't hear me, if you need me to get louder, just say it.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
You're okay.
Yeah,
All right,
because I'd
talking to
rather
the
know
mic.
than not to know.
Absolutely. They can hear you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, yes.
Academics are used to people critiquing them.
Oh, is that right? All of the students are always, do the students get back critique?
No,
You know, because
the
teachers are always
PhD
writing all over your
the
papers.
PhD, 8 years, got
Gotcha.
critiqued and
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. You know what, I think I
Miss
picked,
University of Chicago.
so let me tell everybody what I did. I picked a subject
Okay.
to major in that had no thesis. Yeah, that's what I did. Because I didn't want to have to write. I could not write a whole bunch of stuff. And everybody keeps telling me, but you got to write a book. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be writing a book. Couldn't write a thesis. Surely not going to be writing a book. Oh, you got 3 books? Okay, yeah, we got to tell
Three
everybody.
faces, and the last one
Oh, that's
took
right,
8
you
years.
did have, oh, yeah. Yeah, see, that is just way more than my personal attention span will
I
work.
agree. It was too much for me too.
Was it? Okay, all right. Well, you're here now, Doc. You're here now. I guess, is somebody paying attention over there? Buzzer, really, we need a buzzer. Really, we need a buzzer. I say this all the time. Hey, everybody that's liking and loving us,
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
cool.
Yeah, hey,
Hi,
thank
this is
you.
really fun.
Are we ready? Okay, yeah, that's
1
what I
minute.
thought. 1 more minute, okay. I was like, yeah, you like that? See, this is,
Yes.
see, live gives you a little bit more, gives you
Yeah.
some feedback. So, you know, that's why I like the live. You can
Much
tell.
love.
Yes. Are we ready? All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. Oh my God. Hey, Karen. She was our guest yesterday. Hey, Latrice. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Hey, Denise is watching. Hey, Sir Cam. Hi. Look at all these people. Oh my gosh. Are y'all pressing the hearts over and over again? Can you do that? Is that what's happening?
Love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
50 hearts.
Oh, is that what it is? So I'm thinking it's all these people, but it's not. It's really just the same people pressing it over and over
It
again.
could be a whole bunch of people.
It could be a whole bunch of people. How we looking now? We ready? Not yet. Okay. I hear it. All right, all right. Welcome back to EmPower Hour with your host, Bertina Power. And I have in the studio with me Dr. Phyllis West. And Doc, you don't want to talk to everybody about your credentials, but honestly, this list is so long. It is so very long. Between your teaching experience, between your in the field social experience, between all of the Cook County health and departments that you have worked in. I mean, this is a book. Her resume is a book, everybody. But I do want to let everybody know that you are definitely qualified to talk to us today about optimizing our health. So let's talk a little bit about you before we get into that. So I saw in your resume that you first started in Sierra Leone and Liberia with a Peace Corps?
Yes, I started as a Peace Corps volunteer, and that was after the HBCU. I got a degree in history,
Okay.
and I wanted to live life. I wanted to live this experience called history.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I discovered my love for public health and social work in the village of Sierra Leone.
In the village of Sierra Leone. Oh, wow. And so that's where, so even though you studied history, that's where you fell in love with the decision or the works that you have since done all these years with regards to health and understanding our, how we interact with our bodies, what we put into it and what we do and don't do.
Yes, they assigned me to be a logistic coordinator to do mass vaccination campaigns throughout the villages of Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we were doing public health. I never knew about public health. And I realized we can't do public health without social work. We can't do social work without public health.
Gotcha. So both of them all intertwine together and you need everything to sort of work.
For me, I did. So
Okay.
I did a double master's in public health and social work to do the work I love doing.
Oh, wow. And so then after that, after a few years, you then did go into Cook County's Department of Public Health and work in that area under various coordinator positions and director positions.
Correct. Upon graduating from Tulane University at Tulane University in New Orleans,
Mhm.
I then came back. I was a therapist for about 3 years. Then I was the assistant health officer for Cook County Department of Public Health, where I did health planning for 2.4 million people, covering the south and southwest suburbs. as
My
well as
goodness. That's a lot of people to help try to keep on top of things in regards to our health. But I'm sure you did it because then after that, you then became a professor. Then you decided to get a PhD.
I got the PhD first.
Oh, okay.
So PhD at the University of Chicago, 8
Mhm.
years, and where I study and do research mass incarceration around mothers in prison and grandmothers who take care of the children who are in prison.
Oh, that was with your
That was
PhD
my
study?
dissertation.
Oh, wow.
8
Okay.
years of labor.
8 years of labor, and it was about, you said, the women in prison and their children, but in relation to the grandmothers who then take care of those children?
Yes, so what it is that black women are the fastest growing women who are being incarcerated right now. And the grandmothers, maternal grandmothers, are often ones who are taken care of. So not only are they trying to figure out and navigate how are they taking care of their own health in the senior
Right.
years, but they're also raising their grandchildren. And that was the basis of my research.
That was
And,
amazing.
yeah,
Oh.
and that's what we continue to do today at Government State, a lot of work around mass incarceration.
Okay, and that was getting ready to be my next question. And so now you're currently a professor?
I am a professor, and I've been a professor since 2008
Okay, but at Governor State?
at Governor State University in the Department of Social Work.
In Department of Social Work. And so how does that work there?
It's a labor of love, and we have the best students in the world.
Do you? All right, great push for Governor State University, right? But higher education, I would think, regardless of where, is one that you facilitate and that you push, right? That Higher education.
Higher education is an incredible way to learn. It teaches you how to learn and educate yourself. It teaches you how to empower yourself to have a better life. Governor State, why Governor State for me?
Right.
I grew up on the west side of Chicago, North Lawndale, first generation college student, and we have plenty of first generation college students at Governor State University, and it's our way to move beyond poverty in this city.
All right, so that is great. So thank you so now we got an understanding of who you are. Now we're gonna take a station break and we're gonna come back and jump right into what it is that we can do. Well, first we'll start with what it is that is the problem, right? You always wanna know what the problem is. So what is America's biggest problem, right? Where are the issues, the leading causes of death in America? What are those issues? Are they preventable? If they are, how is that? So we'll talk about that when we get back. You are listening to Urban Broadcast Media, EmPower Hour with your host, Bertina Power, and my guest, Dr. Phyllis West. We'll be right back after the station break.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. See, the doctor used to not be right here at the time that he was in, and so I used to have 15 minutes to just get ready. And so now I have to like figure that out again. Hey everybody, so we just saying hi. Everybody, okay, yes, all right, so now we're gonna get into what you got here, and I'm just gonna be asking my questions based off of the things that you are saying, okay? And we'll go from there. We'll take one more break, and then we'll wrap, and then we'll wind up wrapping up from that. Hey everybody out there, let me know you there. Hit my hearts. Don't forget to, if you want to listen to the music or anything like that, then you can do that.
Is it like, sometimes Facebook gets like frozen and you don't see stuff that, sometimes Facebook gets frozen, you can't see the hearts that come in, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would listen, hey everybody that's there.
And why didn't you
here they come, hey!
I was about to say, why didn't you tell me I would be hearing myself?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. That's so you can hear yourself and know that it's really so I can hear and they can hear. But you can take, like you did, take one off so that you don't hear yourself in volume. But also these mics are like hot. I don't know why they do this to me. They take these mics and turn them up on super high so that you can hear my fingers touching each other. You can hear. Yeah, that's okay. But you know that it's coming through, right? We want everybody to hear what we're getting ready to talk about because this is some real stuff. This is some good stuff that Dr. Phyllis is getting ready to talk to us about. And you know how I am over here at EmPower Hour. Educate, enrich, and empower. That's all this is about. And it seems like EmPower is the word for 2017 fourth quarter. It's the word, empower. Don't forget to look over here at my people.
Hi, much love.
All right. You are back and you are listening to EmPower Hour with your host, Bertina Power, and I have a guest in the audience, in the studio, Dr. Phyllis West. But before we get to talking to her, I just want to remind everybody, don't forget to download the UBM app, or you can log into urbanbroadcastmedia.com, click the button, listen live, and hear all of us that are the studio personalities. If you want to join in on the conversation, the number again is 312-754-4333. And I see a bunch of likes out here on Facebook, so I thank you for that. But don't forget to follow me and like me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and LinkedIn. All right, so Doc, what are some of the leading causes of death in America?
All right. Why are we talking about optimal health?
Yes.
The leading causes of death? Because they're preventable. The top leading causes of death: cancer, chronic lower respiratory disease, usually caused by smoking, strokes, Alzheimer's, diabetes.
So you're telling me that these leading causes of deaths are all preventable?
All preventable. We have over 600,000 heart disease in America.
600,000 people die every year for heart disease, and they are preventable.
And heart disease is the #1 killer in women.
That is the #1 killer in women.
#1 killer in women.
Specifically,
it doesn't show up the same way. Specifically, African Americans even more.
All right, so my ladies that are listening out there, then pay attention. Get your pens, go get your pens, get your notepads, get your computers, do something so you can take notes on the varying things that can help. Because if it's preventable, then why are we not doing it? Before you get into what it is, because you're a therapist, right? So you've talked to some people, you've gotten into their minds and the mental. Why are we not doing it if it's preventable?
The main reason we're not doing it is because it's behavior. Over time, families, how we live, is a way of life. We've practiced a routine of something that doesn't work for us, and we don't know how to often get out of it. Why?
Why?
Right? Number one reason why is because we are busy in America. America is often not very family friendly, and we have to regroup and take time. If you can't take time to take care of yourselves, you can't take care of yourselves.
And then you're ending up with these diseases. And so and it's funny that you mentioned this, and I'm gonna put my daddy on blast right now because I know what you're saying. Because we, as his children, tried to get him to stop eating a particular meat. I'm just gonna say pork, right? So we tried to stop them. He couldn't translate it in his head because he said his mother ate pork every day, and she lived to her 80s and she grew up. And we kindly reminded him that might be true, but she raised that pig and pork out there in her yard and fed it and then killed it and then cooked it right then and there, which was a completely different concept than what we are doing now, right? So we were right in that statement in some ways. I know it's probably still shouldn't be a lot of that particular meat in his diet, but that initial conversation, all we had was, it's not the same.
Right, so let's go there.
Okay.
Because part of the answer is us returning to what we know.
To what we used to do.
What we used to do, and actually many of us still did it. We're just doing, the processed foods are the culprits and the danger.
Did you hear that? Processed foods.
Right.
Yeah.
Now if we return to what we know, we will return to nature. And returning to nature means beans, greens, fruits and vegetables, anything that came from earth, that came from God.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so anything that came from God. And what we do is we increase what we know first. You focus on the things that we do and we do very well. Cooking, preparing our foods, instead of going to the restaurant. Returning and going into restaurants kills us. We don't know what's in the food, sodium, and a whole bunch of grease. When we cook and prepare at home, we have more food, we save money, and we're healthier.
Okay. And so if we are returning back to if we're turning back to the way we are doing things, then we control it. That's what we're saying. We control what it is that we are truly consuming, and we know exactly what we're consuming.
Yes.
That going back to that. So in the sense that when she was growing her chickens and her pigs and the eggs and everything she was getting right out of her backyard, then she was growing it, and then she knew what she was putting in it, and then she knew how she was preparing it.
Yes, and if you really think about it, right, Bertina? We didn't have a lot of meat. We couldn't afford a lot of meat. So people had a little meat, but they had a whole lot of vegetables. You had a whole lot of greens. You had a whole lot of beans and different things too. And the meat just simply complemented, right? It complemented.
Gotcha. It was a bonus.
Yeah, it was a little in there, but we had to share it with everybody. We had to share it with everybody.
Okay. And so the meat was the bonus, and the vegetables were the plentiful, and which is way different now, right? Most of the times today is not. Okay, all right. So with that being the case, we know that they are all preventable. Now, what is it that we need to be doing?
Well,
go ahead.
There are a number of things. Nutrition is one, and we'll continue with nutrition. However, there are also some other areas. Sleep is very, very important. Remember I told you said a part of this challenge we're having is why is it that we're not doing these things if we know we need to do these things? First and foremost, we need to have the time and the energy and the stamina to do the self-care and the taking care of. And part of that self-care and taking care of is sleeping. We shortchange sleep. We think we can live off and function off 4 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep. Well, we can't. So how do we have to think about and be intentional about how do we even prepare to sleep? We need at least 7 to 8 hours.
So that's 7 to 8 hours of sleep that they always tell us to get ready when we were kids for a test and everything to go to sleep.
Yes.
That is really what we need. And ironically, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who has 7 or 8 children now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is 7 or 8 children, and she has an hour, she said, maybe an hour and a half worth of sleep every you know, at least for the last week or so, a couple of weeks. And I was just like, this can't be healthy.
Can't. The
Right.
brain cannot restore and repair. Your body does not repair. Every time we shortchange sleep, we increase cancer cells.
We increase the cancer cells. Listen, see, that was some serious information you just told us. When we decrease our sleep, we
Yes.
increase our cancer cells.
You increase cancer cells, you increase dementia chances for dementia, you reduce every time you sleep and nutrition, right? Every time you eat that bag of chips, the junk food, and say, hey, I just gotta do this thing, I'm gonna grab this junk food and eat it, you take away nutrition.
Okay.
When you take away nutrition and you take away sleep, you increase, the problem is your immune system, first and foremost, is vulnerable, and then you increase the chances of getting cancer.
So the immune system is what drops down, and as anybody knows that when the immune system is weak, then all of the bacteria and diseases and everything else is what comes back in there.
Right.
I just want to let everybody know that I'm back live on my Bertina Power page. I had a computer glitch where I forgot that I needed to plug it in, but we are back on there live, so if you were listening and you were watching us there, feel free to go back. All right, so Doc, nutrition we talked about, sleep we need to get more of.
Yes.
Yeah, and how are we gonna do that with all of these computers and 45 and 50 screen TVs and everything that is, you know, that is out there keeping us up, and Facebook and Instagram, and it's keeping us up all night.
Hey, you wanna go there?
Yeah, we need to go there because, you know, how do you shut it down?
I'm gonna talk about shutting it down.
Okay.
Let me tell you, first and foremost, there are only a few things that need to be going on in the bedroom.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Uh-oh.
We shouldn't have TVs in the bedroom.
You know what, actually, I believe in that one. Just because I can't go to sleep.
Right.
So I know for that reason I don't have one. But you're going to say we shouldn't have it.
We shouldn't have TVs or electronics in the bedroom. If you need to keep your phone on, put your phone in the bathroom somewhere. The electricity and the lighting that comes from computers and TVs actually stimulate you. And if you don't go to bed within a certain period of time, like if you go to bed after 10, then, and if you're a morning person, then you're having your second wind after 10.
Gotcha.
So if you're not preparing to go to bed at 10, your second wind is coming in, then you're gonna go, oh, I can stay up until 3.
And that's what happens. You start working and you start reading and you start doing the social media, and then you don't go to sleep. And then you look up and you go, oh my God, I gotta get up at like 6 o'clock. I need to go to bed right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we need to know the value of sleep. Then we also need to get proper sunlight during the day. We need vitamin D. We are, especially in this area during this time, fog, no sun, we need vitamin D. We need to get our vitamin D levels checked.
Right. So now, Doc, I just learned this at this empowerment workshop on Saturday, and I would have gotten this answer wrong.
Okay.
When you talk about the melanin in our skin, specifically African Americans, the doctor, the person speaking, talked to the fact that one of my complexion is easy to receive vitamin D, and then one of a darker melanin or more melanin is not. And we were shocked at that answer. And he said the reason was because it reflects the sun. The darker the skin sort of reflects the sun and doesn't, which is also why you can stay out in the sun. You know, we can stay out in the sun a little. It was just quite interesting that are you under that belief? He didn't say we didn't need more or less. He just simply said it's easier to receive it from the sun.
I don't know that science or that research, but I can tell you about the research and science I do know that shows that in the Midwest, where we have a lot of time in the fall and the winter time, we have lower vitamin D levels, period. Regardless of whether we're black, white, Asian, whatever. In the Chicagoland area, in the Midwest, in the North, you do not get much sun.
You don't get much sun.
Which means you need to get, when you go to the doctor, you need to get that vitamin D level checked. to see.
So there's
where
a
you
test
are.
for that.
Yeah.
So you have to ask for it because they're not doing that. That's not one of those things that they just do automatically.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
always ask for the vitamin D.
Always ask for the vitamin D. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So then what else? Now I'm one who can't sleep with the light. I am so not the light sleeper person. Meaning if there is any kind of light around, it will wake me up.
Okay.
So I've been known to put eye mask on to try to
Very
sleep.
good.
That's also helpful.
Very good.
And I get my best sleep when I have that on.
Well, there's a reason why. Because
What?
you want to make your room as dark as possible.
Okay.
Which means you need dimmers, dark, put the curtains up, close that room. You want complete darkness in that room.
Okay.
You also want to consider having a curfew for caffeine of any kind. Cut it off. Usually we're saying stop at 4. For some people, they may have to stop if they're sensitive. They need to stop by noon.
So that caffeine gets out and it's not keeping them up all night.
Caffeine will keep you up all night, or the danger of caffeine and what it does do into the body. All
right. So now, past sleep, what are another one of those 4 major areas that we need to be involved in? Did I see you say something about movement?
Let's talk about movement.
Yes.
I love talking about movement. Let's talk about movement.
Let's talk about movement. Okay.
You need movement, flexibility. Yoga is a proponent. I've been doing yoga since 1990.
Okay.
And in my 50s, I am far more flexible than ever can imagine. You want to do yoga because it stretches. I'm not talking about acrobatic or athletic stuff. Right, even in that seat, the gentleman's in his seat moving. You want to move in your seat. You can do yoga right here, right?
Right where you are.
Stretching and moving in the seat. You want movement too. Movement. You got your whole crew over there moving. That's
all right.
We want to move
Keep
in
moving,
that seat,
especially when you're
right?
sitting at those desks all the time.
You have to.
Okay.
You
And
have
movement,
to get up.
And movement is not just walking to the water cooler and back again, right? We're talking about some serious consistency to that movement over a period of time.
And the danger, the demon of computers in school, I tell them there's nothing natural about sitting in the seat for 3 hours and 2 hours. You need to at least move your body. If you're gonna sit for an hour, at least every 50 minutes you get up and you move.
So every 50 minutes, so at 50 minutes when I'm done, I need to move, do something. Even just stand up at my desk if I'm gonna be talking on the phone, but get up and move, walk away, walk around, go get something, go come back, just
play music.
Keep
Keep getting up. Play music.
Okay.
Dance. Dance is so important. People are doing a lot of line dancing now.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing Zumba. These are all very, very important. And the reason why they're important is because we get to prevent dementia.
Yeah, and that's a big one. You know, the Alzheimer's awareness is a big proponent of one of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which I know you're a member of, and so you know this, that we are working to the awareness of Alzheimer's, and so movement helps prevent this dementia and Alzheimer's. What can you give me just? You know,
why?
Yeah, like a why, but the non-clinical version. You know, like
the non-clinical version
right.
is. Through dancing, you're learning and you're connecting memory and movement.
Gotcha.
And it's a lot of complex thinking in going into dancing because your body is moving, not only your muscles are physical, but the brain is working as well.
I see. So then what's happening is my memory to think and remember these steps is what is causing my brain to keep with those electrons and connecting and storing memory, which then helps to eliminate that.
And you're moving into the happy space of endorphins.
Right, so the endorphins are coming, so you feel good about it.
You feel good, you're less depressed, you're getting cardiovascular.
Gotcha.
There's so many benefits to dancing, and it's a simple thing to do.
Okay, all right, so then, we have nutrition, right, better nutrition.
Yes.
We have sleep,
Yes.
which we need to get more of, and we need to fix that room so that it is more conducive to sleep. And then movement. So then what else is it that we can do to prevent these diseases that are all preventable according to your studies?
Connection. That's why church is so important.
Connection.
That's why community is so important.
So then that statement I just made about the students, you know, about the youth today needing to touch humans, that's the connection you're referencing? Okay.
Yes, you gotta be in relationships, good, healthy relationships, and you have to have healthy boundaries within those relationships. You have to, especially women, especially black women, we have to learn to say no.
Say no. Yeah, that's
Say
a
no.
hard thing. I'm working on that, that
I
saying
know.
no. Yeah, that's saying no, okay. And you're not saying no to friendship, but you're saying no to adding on more things onto our agenda and our plate, as one would say.
I'm saying say no to things that does not honor you and your temple.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we'll be right back, everybody. We're going to take a quick station break. You are listening to Dr. Phyllis West. I am Bertina Power, and this is EmPower Hour on Urban Broadcast Media. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, all right. I lost all my people. Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My battery died.
You have 2 minutes.
Okay.
I like them. That's too funny. Is it moving?
Yes, we live. Yes. Say hi to everybody. This is Dr. Phyllis.
Hey, loves.
So we got to talk to them too. I know you've been talking to
Self-care,
them.
self-love.
Yes,
We have to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
Self-care and self-love.
Oh, Robin said that's true, Bertina, about the melanin. Okay, yeah, because that's what I was saying. But you knew, you said you hadn't studied it yet, so.
No, I'm not gonna try it.
But,
See the research.
oh, is Dr. Bond just joined me? Hey, everybody. Gotcha. Hey. Hey, happy Tuesday, Jay. Okay.
Just self-care, self-love.
Hmm.
So we just.
Okay, so.
We're ending here.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just wrap that up.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Or anything you wanna cover.
Huh?
Anything you want to cover.
Okay.
For us to close it up.
Okay.
There's something else I'm done.
Okay.
I'll just be able to emphasize anything you wanna revisit about how do we make it behavioral right.
Yeah, we'll be good. We'll finish it up, and then I'll be going into my close where I talk about some of the community events that's happening.
Okay, wow.
Okay? Yep, we're gonna talk about that.
Interesting.
Hello and welcome back to Urban Broadcast Media. You are listening to EmPower Hour with your host, Bertina Power. Don't forget to like at Bertina Power on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and and LinkedIn. In the studio is Dr. Phyllis West, and she has been educating us, which you know is one of our goals, enriching us and empowering us to take back our health, right, Doc?
Absolutely.
Because it's so everything is preventable. And with it being preventable, then that means we just need to do it, right? And put it on our to-do list like we have all the thousands of other things that are on our to-do
Well,
list.
we need to remove some of the things off our list if
Uh-huh.
we don't need to do it and make the time for ourselves. We need to exercise movement. But I would say about exercise and how do you do that,
Right.
go back to the things you love. If you used to hula hoop, go back to hula hooping. Jump and rope, I'm serious.
Dancing, or you know what, trampoline. You know, a lot of adults are getting into that trampoline, and it is a workout. I'm gonna have her on the studio once. One of my gym teacher, Dre, at D3, she has a whole workout behind just being on the trampoline. And you know, you're talking about fun, right? And then it's built for us old school people, right? Because we're not young anymore. So there's a bar you get to hold on to and jump, right? And then kicking the legs up and just bouncing all over the place and have fun, right?
Make it fun.
Make it fun, right? And I also was saying that somebody was just saying just 10 minutes in one direction, turn around, and 10 minutes back in the same direction you went. If you did that every day, is the bare minimum.
Well, the new research shows it is not enough to exercise just an hour a day.
Gotcha.
You have to have constant movement.
Constant movement. Take those stairs instead of the
Take
elevator.
the stairs, walk in the parking lot, get up from your seat.
Now, Doc, I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it because I know there's a group of people that always say, but my knees hurt. And I can't do this in my back. And then it just becomes this question of, well, are you going to continue down that way, or do you want to do something about that, right? Because if they're saying, oh, I can't walk those stairs because of my knees, I can't because of my back, you know, and you know,
that's real.
Yeah, it is
that's
real.
That's
I know.
real for them.
That's
and
real.
I would say it's so vitally important that you work with your doctor. You work with a medical staff that can guide you through how do you gradually come back. But there are many things you can do in the seat
in the seat just to begin.
Yes, if you
Okay.
can't walk, if you can't move like we're talking about, some of us can though.
Yes. Oh yeah, there's a lot of us that can and just using some
Right.
excuse, you know.
But
that
those
they
of us
can.
who can't, we start at our doctor's office by saying, I need help gently moving into this.
Okay. Now, I know this personally about you, and I'm just going to bring it up as we
Okay.
revisit the nutrition. So you grow
Yes,
your vegetables in your backyard,
I do.
right? And so now, you know, people are saying, "There's no way I got time for that," no way I even have knowledge to do that. Did you learn that in Sierra Leone and bring that through, or where did you pick up that?
My auntie Eloise in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay, she had an auntie Eloise
In
that
Augusta, Georgia. My
Mhm.
family were sharecroppers and we
Gotcha.
garden, and I watched them work in the garden with my auntie when I was in college. And I tried it once in Chicago in 1996. Mama Bobby said, you should garden. I said, you gotta be kidding, I don't have time.
Mhm.
I tried it once and I was hooked.
And you were
We
hooked.
must connect with nature.
Mhm.
Nature feeds our souls.
But this is Chicago. I know somebody's out there saying, Bertina, is Chicago. How are you growing anything in Chicago with the weather the way it is? And I would agree, because I know my mother's listening, that she grew greens and carrots
Right.
and strawberries and
Right.
peanuts and,
Yes.
and you know, all kinds of stuff. I don't even remember the list.
Blackberries come every year,
Yeah.
grapes come every year now. And you know what? Collard greens, carrots, there are winter vegetables that
Mhm.
will stay in your garden until December in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yes.
So don't say you can't. All right, so that's nutrition. So we're saying if you can't, you know, you can find a cheaper way to do it. You can
There are two
grow
ways.
them in your own backyard, right?
In your own backyard. If you don't have a backyard, you can grow them on your patio or on your porch.
Okay, right, on that balcony or
Yes.
whatever, out hanging out the window, so you
Yes.
can do that. And then there are a lot of community gardens in various neighborhoods, Inglewood, Woodlawn, a lot of these areas have these community gardens
Yes.
that they wanna give away the food to, that people won't even come and get.
Oh, there's so much food being given away in every community, even in Inglewood. I have a friend who works at a church in Inglewood. They give away vegetables.
They give away vegetables, all you have to do is come with
There's so
some
much free
container.
food. You
Right,
just
there's
gotta
a,
find it, yeah.
all right, so you can find the free food, so no more excuse there,
Yeah,
right?
you can
Okay.
go to local churches.
Right, so no more excuse about the nutrition, right? And then sleep. Now this one is the hardest one, I think, for people to fight. And I don't know why, but it's because we always say there's not enough hours in the day. But you're saying cut some of those things off your list or reorganize them throughout the day so that when you're preparing for bed, like we used to do when we were little, right? Because I got little boys. So there is the last eating, then there's the bath, the little music, you know what I'm saying? That's what you mean when you're saying, like, in some ways prepare for it. Like, get your mind
Right.
and shut stuff down and prepare for sleep.
You have to create a ritual.
Okay.
You have to make you a priority. This is non-negotiable.
Mhm.
You have to be the priority. And that means you have to cut some things off your list, eliminate some things. We don't need to be as busy as we are.
Yeah.
We need to be able to say, you have to say what's really important to you.
Yeah.
You want to save money? Finances is really big. If you got a lot of stress, cut some of the spending we're doing.
Mhm.
Some of the stuff we don't need. I know we gotta be glam and all, you know, we argue about this all the time.
We
or
do.
debate about it.
Right.
But we have to say, something's gonna be a priority. Driving a BMW and paying $800 and $900 a month?
I heard $1,200 when I had but she said that's related to your credit score. So bad credit score means you're paying more on whatever somebody else would be paying the same thing for, but
And it
you know,
equals stress.
and it equals stress. That's what I was getting ready to go. All it does is equal stress. Okay, so we get that sleep together, find a way to darken the room, get the TV and the electronics out, because even those lights beaming from there turn into
Keeps
some
you
problem
awake.
that keeps you awake. Okay.
Right.
Then the movement, and you're saying start somewhere. In the chair, get to movement.
There's plenty of dancing in the chair. I can do a whole routine.
You
in
can
the
do a
chair.
whole routine
I
in
can
the
do a
chair.
whole belly dancing routine in the chair. actually.
Okay, all right.
We
Well,
won't do that.
yeah, we won't be doing that right now.
But
Because, but you're saying it's the movement, and then we can do dancing. Find something you love, hula hooping, hopscotch, jumping rope, whatever. Just find something that you like
anything
doing.
that's physical movement, even for the elders, if they can just get up and down out of the chair.
Mhm.
Notice this,
Mm-hmm.
because then you're like using your muscles, your arm muscles, and
For the people listening on the radio, they can't see her doing it, but basically she's putting her hands in the chair and pushing herself up off of the chair and then coming right back down, but not even using the legs. That is the hardest thing to do. Right, because to getting out of the chair is the hardest thing as you get older. Okay, so those movements, and you can even kick up the legs, right? While you're sitting there in the chair, leg kicking.
Plenty of yoga.
Right, and some yoga. Right.
So you're engaging your abs when you're doing this.
Okay, and then the connections. We didn't get a chance to go into that too much, but the connections by that, you're saying self-love, loving others, having some good relationships.
We must be around people who affirm us, who love us, who nurture us. We're not saying have a bunch of yes people.
Right.
However, we are saying that you need to be around someone who's going to help you live your dreams.
Okay. And you know, I had a guest on that said, you want to have friends around you that are armor bearers versus pallbearers.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? It was so deep, and I have since used it twice since then because I was like, this is serious. Like, you have to say it slow, too, so it could process. You do not want friends around you that are, you want armor bearers and not pallbearers. And I was just like, that is some serious stuff right there, right? And you don't, you know, when you think about it that way, you can begin to process it a little differently, right? Than when you say stay away from toxic people. You know, people don't sometimes they get it, but then they don't. But then if you think about it, hey, they're taking you to your grave. Then you start thinking about it a little bit differently.
What they say is you need to be around at least the people you spend, the 5 people you spend the most time with, that's who you are.
That's who you are. So
you
take an assessment, right?
Yes.
Take an assessment of who those people are.
Who are you spending your time with? And how do they feed your soul? And how do you two uplift each other? Or how do we keep each other down?
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it right here on Urban Broadcast Media with my guest, Dr. Phyllis West. This is the EmPower Hour, and we are talking about enriching, educating, and empowering us. And Doc has said that the leading causes, heart disease, cancer, you name it, Alzheimer's, are all preventable. But we just have to make ourselves a priority and ensure that we are doing these things. And four very easy things you just named, which, well, for some, but nutrition, changing a thought process, getting more sleep, and what that means for shutting down and getting ready. What was the third one? It was the movement of some kind, finding something that you like to do. And connection is that what we need to do. And that's disconnect from that technology. It's almost the same concept, and then really get into people loving and people connecting
and healing our families, because you are not, it's hard to be successful if family members around you aren't doing the same thing. So we have to get on the team of saying we're going to commit to a healthy life
together. Yeah, I can agree with that, because then they wind up needing you. They keep pulling on you because they're not healthy, right? And they're not doing things, and then they turn to you to help and do that. Yeah, my favorite food. Anyway, so it is October, and we are talking about these issues and these concerns. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm wearing my pink band that I got. And so Akurama Foundation and Urban Broadcast Media are collaborating for collecting of bras. So recycling the bras at a company called Bra Recycling Agency. They take them, stretch, sports, padded, maternity, you name it. They just don't take the gel and the water styles. And they're going to recycle and repurpose them, sell them, and the proceeds are for breast cancer research. So, you know, they can bring the bras here, drop them off at 4108 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois, 60653. Now, Doc, have you been to the Universal Soul Circus this year?
Not this year.
Not this year.
Twice, though.
You've been twice, right? Isn't that the best? Right. So now it's ending on October the 29th, which is what, Sunday of this weekend. So make sure if you're going to go, you got to get out there and support the beautiful Universal Soul Circus right here in Washington Park. Now, also on this Saturday coming up is the Wealth Building Day. Saturday, October the 28th at Chicago State University. There's free admission. They're giving out free credit reports, raffles, and refreshments. You want to get your credit optimized because, again, bad credit means a lot of stress, right? Wouldn't you say that? You are listening to EmPower Hour with Bertina Power, and I always end my shows, Doc, with a quote. And, of course, this is befitting for your topic today. The greatest wealth is health. Would you not? An abundance, right? So we can have abundance of wealth with great health. Right.
Yes.
All right. So I thank you for listening today, and I'm sorry to my Facebook fans on Bertina Power that we got disconnected because of my battery dying. And so we are here every day at noon, so make sure you're listening in. And I'm just going to give you a shout out to next week. I want you listening every day, but next week it's going to be Raining Men over here at EmPower Hour. Yes, it's Raining Men. Monday through Friday, we're going to have men on here talking about their subjects. So listen and stay tuned. Urban Broadcast Media right here, EmPower Hour.
Thank you.
Yes, it's going to be Raining
Oh my
Men
gosh,
next week.
That's a whirlwind.
I know, right?
That's a whirlwind.
Yes, yes. Hey, everybody.
So what are Raining Men gonna do?
They're